Hello dear students, welcome back to our science classes. How are you all? I hope you all are healthy and doing well. So students, I'm your science educator again here with a new chapter, which is chapter number 11, matter and its properties. So we have to learn about today in matters. So today we are going to learn about the matters and its properties. But before starting this chapter, have a look on your learning objective. Different kinds of matter have different properties: color, order, taste, elasticity, plasticity, malleability, ductility, vol, uh, volatility, transparency, opaqueness, translucency, breakability, conduction of heat, conduction of electricity, and in the end we are going to learn about solubility. But before that we have to understand what does mean by matter. So any object, anything which occupied any kind of space and mass means, for example, this is a AC remote. If we place it anywhere, so it occupies some kind of space, right? And the next, when I weigh this, so it has mass also, means weight also. So when any object has a particular, when occupied a particular space and having a particular mass, that is referred as your matter. So now students, we go into deep down. So different kinds of matter have different properties. So each and everything in your surroundings, it is a matter. Okay. So the properties of matter refers to the specific characteristics of matter that help to differentiate one substance from the other. Some of the important properties of matter are as follows. So as we already understood that this and this both are matters. Okay, but this matter is different from this matter because this way is different, this occupied a different space, this way is different and it occupies a different space. So according to their properties, right, this is a property, na, how much of weight it is, how much of weight it is, right? According to its properties, we differentiate each and every type of matter with each other. So now first we are distinguished first we are distinguished on the basis of color. The first thing, in many cases, substance can be identified by a particular color they possess. For example, coal is black, copper is brown, silver is white, and gold is yellow. On the other hand, substances like water and kerosene are colorless. Liquids, bromine has brown color, gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide are colorless. So what we understand here, on the basis of color only, we can distinguish between the matter. For example, your silver is white, your gold is yellow, right? Your copper is brownish. So these are the things we have. Your water is colorless. So based on the colors only, we can distinguish between the matters. For example, this AC remote is white in color, this pen is green in color. So with the help of color, I can distinguish in both the things. What is the difference between it? That it is green in color, that this is white in color. So this is a category we can distinguish our matter on the basis of colors only. Next, we have order. Order means smell. So we can recognize some substance with the help of the order they possess. Substance like petrol, kerosene and cooking gas. LPGs have a very distinct smell. Perfumes have a sweet smell. Hydrogen sulfide has a foul smell. Oxygen and nitrogen are odorless. Next thing, we can distinguish by the help of the order. For example, if you have kerosene, if you have petrol, so by smelling on it, okay, by smelling it, you can easily understand, okay, this is kerosene, this is petrol, right? With the help of your nose, you can easily distinguish between the CNG, between the LPG. You can distinguish between the hydrogen sulfide because it is having a very foul smell. So with the help of order, we can also distinguish between the matters. So these are the things, these are the basically points we have on the basis we classify our matters into different categories. Next category we have, which is taste. So some substance have their own taste. For example, sugar is sweet, table salt is salty, vinegar is sour, and some medicines are bitter. Some substance are watery, maybe tasteless. So what we understand here, if your eyes is closed and I taste you and I give you a taste of sugar, so what will happen? You can easily identify, okay, it is sugar. If you have a lot, for example, I close your eyes, okay, and you have different things in different bowls, and I told you, take it one and tell me what is it. So if you have sugar, you can tell by tasting it, okay, it is sweet. By salt, you can also tasting it and you can tell me, okay, it is salty. Medicines are bitter, so you can also tell Okay, fine, this is medicine. So on the basis of test, we can also classify matters into different categories. Now, elasticity. How can we classify our matters on the basis of elasticity? For example, this is an AC remote. If I stretch it, so it could not change its position. It means it having no elasticity. So those things on stretching whose changes their shape. So basically that is referred as the elasticity. Elasticity is the property of virtue of which a substance stretches on applying a force, and withdrawing the force, the substance regains its original position or original shape, example rubber. So elasticity, basically when I stretch it and when I stop stretching, so it will remain its original shape, that is referred as the elasticity. So this remote, it's not elastic because it does not have elasticity. Next we have plasticity. So plasticity is the process by virtue of which substance change its shape on applying force on it, but it is unable to regain its original shape even when the force is withdrawn, example clay. So for example, if we have clay, so when we apply a force on the clay, so we can change it. You have a rough clay in a square shape, in a rectangular shape. When you apply force on it, so you can make different things with the help of clay. But after this, we cannot make it back to into its original position when we withdraw our force on it. That is referred as plasticity. That we can change the position, but we cannot back to its original position. Okay, original shape. Next, we have malleability. So malleability is the process. Malleability is the property by which substance can be beaten into the thin sheets without breaking. Example: gold, copper, silver, zinc, etc. So what we understand here, if I have this AC remote, if I continuously beat it, so it will be breaking down into small pieces. But instead of it, if we press this, apply this force on a silver, on a gold, on a copper, so what will happen? It will be converted into a plane sheet. So when the particles on applying a force continuously and changes into a plane of sheet, that is referred as your malleability. Next we have ductility. So what we understand by ductility? Ductility is the property by virtue of which substance can be drawn into wires, example silver, copper, gold and platinum. So here we understand that with the help of ductility process, we can change any kind of object into wire. For example, if I want to change this AC remote in the form of wire, I cannot do that. Why? Because it is not having that property, because it's not ductile. So your silver, your copper, your gold will be converted into wire. So these are the things which you have in example for the ductility. Now volatility. There are some substance that quickly changes into vapor form when kept in the open. Such substance are called volatile substance. Example: petrol, spirit, alcohol, etc. So we already understood about the evaporation in our previous chapter, where we understand the water particles or basically liquid things will converted into the gaseous form. So we have some objects, we have some things like we have some objects as well which will be converted into gaseous form if we open up it. So those are called your volatility. Okay, you are very volatile. This sentence, this word you hear now, volatile means the person can adjust in each and every kind of situation. That is means volatile. So that is referred as your volatility. Now we have transparency. Transparency is a very common word. When I can see when I can see in with the in front of this AC remote as well, that is called your transparency, but it is not transparent because I cannot see with this medium, right? So those materials that allows light to pass through them are called transparent. Examples are glass, polythene, sheets, water, air, etc. We can see that from that medium to that, basically those medium basically passed on light from them, so that having transparency quality. Next, opaqueness. So this is opaqueness. This AC remote is opaque. Why? Because this AC remote cannot send light from it. So those materials that do not allow light to pass through them called opaque. Example are wood, cardboard, asbestos, asbestos sheets, etc. Next we have translucency. Translucency is the combination of opaque and transparency. Means the passing, the quantity of passing light, it's not that much efficient. For example, some materials like oil, paper, frosted glass, and turbid water allow Translucency. Some materials like oil, paper, frosted glass, and turbid water allow only a part of light pass through them. Such materials are called translucent. Means the amount of light passing through them is quite minimum. Okay, that is why they refer as translucent. Next we have breakability. So these are the objects which we can breakability. If I press it, if we apply a very strong force and throw it, so what will happen? This AC remote will be break. So those substances which are by applying force can be break, that is referred as your breakability. So some kinds of materials break easily. Examples are glass, chalk, porcelain, mud pot, etc. Some kinds of materials do not break. Example, iron and copper. So basically, those objects by applying force can be break into pieces. That is refers as your breakability property. Now we have conduction of heat. So materials which can allow heat to pass through them are called conductors of heat. Matter in solids or a liquid state can be a good conductor, good or bad conductor, but the matter in gaseous state is generally a bad conductor. Almost all metals like iron, copper, aluminum and steel are good conductors of heat. So now what we have to understand here, that those material which can pass heat from them, that is referred as your good conductor. For example, this plastic cannot pass heat from them, so it is referred as the bad conductor of electricity. So some kind of solid and some kind of liquid have a good or bad quality of conduction, but gaseous form is always a bad conductor of the heat. Now materials like plastic, leather, wood, paper, rubber, thermocol, etc. are bad conductors, or we can say known conductors of heat. This is the reason why vessels used in the kitchen for cooking, the vessels used why vessels used in the kitchen for cooking food have a metal body, but their handles are made up of plastic or wood, so that we can easily handle these vessels. Water or liquid is a poor conductor of heat. So what we understand here, that is why when we use iron, copper utensils, but the end of it is always a wood and always a plastic, because plastic and wood is a bad conductor of electricity, so they cannot pass the heat inside it, so we can easily hold it, otherwise our hand get burned. Next we have conduction of electricity. Okay, means conduction of electricity means electricity is a good conductor of heat. So the substance that allows electricity to pass through them are called conductors. Example, those particles who pass the electricity from them, those are called conduction of electricity. Okay, we have two terms, conductors and conduction. Conductors means passing of heat from one medium to the another, basically the heat transfer of heat inside the utensil. Conduction of electricity means the passage, the uh, that allows electricity pass through them. Next we have substance like rubber, dry cloth, paper, etc. do not allow electricity to pass through them. They are called insulators. So those materials which not allow, does not allow passing electricity through them, they are referred as insulators. That is why in AC remote we have buttons in rubber form, because they are insulators, so when we touch it, so we do not feel any kind of current. Okay, and among liquids, water is not good conductor. Among liquid, water is not good conductor of electricity, yet it can conduct electricity due to the presence of dissolved salt. So what we understand here, water is not a good conductor of electricity, but the salts include in that water. For example, if we are talking about the tap water, the in tap water electricity can pass through, but in distilled water it could not be, just because of the presence of the salt inside the tap water. Next, solubility. Solubility means the mixture, the disappearance of any kind of object into the liquid, that is referred as your solubility. Some kinds of matter dissolve in water. The substance that dissolve in water are called the soluble substance. Example, potassium permanganate, sugar, common salt, copper sulfate, carbon dioxide, chlorine, etc. Some kinds of matter do not dissolve in water. Such substances are called insoluble substance. Example, stone, iron, glass, wood, sulfur, etc. So what we understand here, that if you have a glass of water and you put some sugar inside it and you continuously stir it, so what will happen? Sugar will be disappear. It means sugar is soluble in water. But instead of it, if you are talking about the oil, I take oil and pour it into inside my water. So what will happen if you are continuously stir it? That water oil cannot be settled down, cannot be disappear in the water. It means oil it's insoluble in water. Understood? Next we have matter is made up of very small particles. Matter, whether in the form of solids, liquids or gaseous, is composed of extremely small particles called molecules. It means each and everything in this earth is made up of molecules. Okay, so these molecules are the tiniest units of substance and that are not visible to the naked eye. The molecules of a particular matter are exactly alike. Molecules of different substance differ from one another. Molecules in solids are tightly packed and closely arranged. That is why solids are hard and rigid and have definite shape and definite volume. Molecules in liquid are less densely packed and have some freedom to move. Because of this, liquids are not hard and can flow easily but do not fly off as the gas. So the liquid have definite volume but no definite shape. Molecules in gaseous, widely spaced and loosely packed, they can move freely and spread everywhere. So gaseous have neither definite shape or definite volume. So what we understand here, this AC remote is a solid. If I press it harshly, so what will happen? The shape will not change. The shape will remain same. It means in solid particle in solid. Uh, so what will happen in solid? The molecules will connect it to each other very hardly, and that is why each and every kind of solid have a definite shape. In both the things, what will observe here, that both the things have definite shape. They have their space. So the particles are condensed to each other very hardly and they join together. That is why the particles cannot move. They do not have freedom basically. Next, we are talking about the liquid. For example, if you put your water inside a bottle, so the bottle shape will be the water shape, right? So the water will be changed their shape according to according to its container. It means water particles have their volume but they do not have a definite shape because the particles are loosely packed, and we can change the shape of the object by changing its container basically. Next we have gas. So we cannot take inside any container. We cannot handle it. So it means gas is not having any kind of shape, any kind of shape and any kind of volume, because the particles are very loose. They are can freely move and they are very separate to each other. So student, this is the end of your chapter. I hope so you understood about the properties and about the matters in detail. Now I'm going to meet you in your next class. Till that, bye bye, have a good day.